making me feel.
Feel.
We're live.
Outer Haven.
Assemble!
The musical intro. Okay,
Dun,
okay.
dun, 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 dun.
So we're doing arc 1 and 2 for Kingdom for everyone that's caught up, hopefully. Otherwise, like, we're gonna be spoiling things. So yeah, we're gonna go basically from the start of the arc and then kind of work our way towards the end of it. So whoever wants to give it a shot and start it. Otherwise, I
I mean,
will.
we got to ask our guests pretty much. I mean, we got to ask King Recon first, and we'll go to Professor Anime. So, King Recon, what did you think of the first arc of Kingdom when you were starting it, pretty much? And like, you know, what was that general feeling like? Were you hooked into the story from the first chapter, or did it kind of have to build up for you?
I think it had an excellent introduction chapter, but I really started getting hooked whenever the invasion happened. So I wasn't binging chapters back to back, but I did think that it was interesting enough that I wanted to keep reading from the beginning. And I thought the art style was very unique, and that in and of itself made me want to keep on reading. But I think the first chapter is really, really strong. It's one of the strongest first chapters I think I've ever read. And in that instance, if people are hooked just from that, I wouldn't doubt it. But for me, it really, really got good from the invasion, and from then on, I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, definitely. Professor Anime, same thing back to you. I mean, like, when you were getting into Kingdom, like, did you get that same emotion? Like you were hooked into the story from the first chapter? Or, like, again, like, did it build up for you?
I would probably say the build up. I mean, the first chapter definitely caught my interest. I really liked the way on how it played out. It definitely had to build up until I can actually get down to it. But the first arc alone, once we see Shin or, Issei going into the rebellion against his brother, that's when I was like, yo, this is pretty interesting. I really like to see where the series is going to go from here on out. So
I agree.
Okay,
Anyone else from Outer Haven you want to add into that?
Oh, I was gonna go. I don't know if we all want to go,
Go.
but yeah, same thing. Like from the first arc, like the death of Shin's basically like in a sense brother, right? Hugh. That was like I think what drove me to want to keep reading it, because at first I think a lot of people thought that was gonna make a rivalry where like throughout the series they're gonna like be neck and neck and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like once they died, I was like, holy shit! Like this is finally good, because like I like mangas that break that stereotype and the archetype. That's what like made me want to keep reading. Then the battles, like the strategic narration of those battles and how they go is crazy good.
Speaking of that, I want you bring that up. Whenever you think that you see him again, but it turns out to be Issei, I was so shocked. I was like, "Who is this?"
Yeah,
That was shocking to me too.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I like the part that he was like, when Shin's so angry about it, but he's so arrogant. He says just like, look, man, it was my body double. He decided to do it for the kingdom, blah, blah, blah. While Shin's getting emotional, saying, like, I should kill you for, like, one of my best friends dead because of you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like a really good, like, kind of conflict between them. So I didn't know where that could go. Would Shin kill him or not kill him? Or will Elsei just be like, fuck this guy anyway? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, what stood out for me was like how the story seemed to be progressing, because like it kind of did, as TGK said, it kind of broke stereotypes a little bit. Because like you've got, I like how dark it was for a start. Because like the bit at the beginning when they were walking through that cave to escape the army that had like kind of raided the village, right? You've got like blood dripping through the cave walls, like all of that shit. It really shows how gruesome it was in that time period, and like the fact that although Issei was meant to be a king, who like obviously kings they're not usually strong in a sense, because they didn't have to live that life, they didn't have to do anything. But then the fact that in the first like 1 to 75, how you see like when Shin attacked him, and then Issei literally just picked him up with one hand and literally put him back in his place, like it really kind of broke the mold of that.
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yo, what's popping?
What's up, man?
What's up, yourself?
Hey, I literally just caught up. Well, not literally, but recently caught up to not caught up, but I'm just getting so confused. But I have read up to about chapter 130.
Mm.
I mean,
So you want
what
to tell
you
us from
guys
the
like
first arc,
ratings?
pretty much? Yeah. So, like with the first arc, you
First
want to
arc,
tell us
yeah.
then pretty much your experience with that?
So the first arc, to be honest, I think it's more like 2 arcs, really, because like you could count the first chapter as an arc of its own, where we kind of like
Mhm.
build up to the progression of Shin and how much he changes over those first 40 chapters and how even bigger of a change after this first 73 chapters, but that's for another stream. But that first arc, I'd probably give a solid 7 out of 10. I'd say it was a really good start, but I don't think it was the greatness that it was hyped up for me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I mean,
agree.
the fact that Kingdom's just getting better from there, though, for it,
Yeah.
for you
Yeah,
to like
true
rate the low moment as a 7 out of 10, and it's just gonna like climb. That's just insane.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I think a lot of the beginning arc to me was really cool. I think it showed more the political side of like the entire series. But
Yeah.
like I'm like I love those like sides, but I love the battlefield side. So I feel like if people are gonna read it, I would say kind of like grind your way in a sense to the second arc where we're gonna end off it with the Way arc, because I think that's when like Kingdom's like greatness shines.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Way arc
Like-
was a great beginning to like showing off the different tactics shown.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
real.
that's
And
what I
like-
like about Kingdom. It has, all the politics and the whole strategy thing going on, and it just gets better from there on out. It really does. Like the tactics that they use in the series is just like holy shit, And I like also how it shows the perspectives of the even the opponent's side. It's really interesting how they go about their tactics and their strategy on how they can take care of Shin's army, the Chin. So
Mhm.
that's what I like about Kingdom. It
I'm
pretty much has all around a great story. It deals with a lot of politics, strategy. Like it pretty much has everything that you would want to see in a manga.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you, man. Oh, go on.
And like some of the characters are pretty like my guy General Ouki, man. Like he's one of the best characters I've seen in the manga for ages.
Yeah, man, he's dope.
Like even when you think he's not doing anything, he's actually doing something. It's like he's like always, I don't know how to explain it, but he's always just on point. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm probably skipping ahead a bit, but obviously there's a part in the second arc when he's just on the hill and you're just thinking he's watching the fight. But he's actually doing other stuff. He's actually making like tactically he's actually
Like
helping
his
out.
presence
like,
alone, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I'm like, this guy is just such a beast. Like he just, even when he's not doing something, he's doing something. Like he's always just
Yeah,
on point.
and
Yeah.
like that kind of hypes me up for the story. Like when I read that bit, and it was like picking out little details, like him just being present on the battlefield made it easier for his men and made it like more nerve-wracking for the enemy. Like when they pick out little stuff like that, how it kind of shifts the tide of the battle, it makes me so hyped to see like what these top tier like collisions are going to be like. Because the strategy is just insane. Like I love the strategy of this. Like I like stuff that makes me think on my toes. Like whenever I feel like something's going to go a certain way, someone just quickly switches it up, and then it just changes the whole tide of the arc. Like it's amazing.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. So, do any of you guys play or are like a fan of chess?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not really.
There's so many. Like when I read Kingdom, it's like there's different pieces on the board. Like the generals are all like main pieces, like rooks, bishops, queens,
Yeah.
etc.
Mhm.
Like I really feel like it's a literal breathing chess battlefield that I'm watching, and I enjoy that like so much with Kingdom.
That's a great analogy. I agree.
That's literally what it is. It literally is like it's crazy.
I mean,
And
kind
then-
of going to skip a little forward into the second arc when we're looking at Goseki, like it's like a board game of logic that how he kind of refers to the battlefield. I mean, like I just love how he uses like chess or like in that kind of sense to kind of depict like his style of battle. Like
Yeah. And then the
And
thing
the
is, like,
character-
so you bring up like the different pieces, like the rooks, everything, but then not every army is like the same. Because like, you know how every chessboard has the same pieces, but like
Yeah.
say for example, if you were to compare like the Duke Hugh army to like Oiki's personal army, like Oiki would probably have loads of rooks, loads of like knights, all of that. Like he would hardly have any pawns because they're just that caliber above everyone else. You get what I mean?
No,
It's interesting to see how it all like collides as well.
I guess you could say that the 1,000-man commanders, etc., would be pawns.
What in Duke? I mean, in Oiki's thing.
Yeah, just in general. In
Then that's
all
what I'm
armies.
saying though. When you compare that pawn to like a normal pawn, which is like 100-man commander,
Yeah,
like the caliber of it is just insane.
I mean, we saw in the no, actually, that I can't say that. That's a bit too far forward. But for example, there is instances where they show how important it is to take an important piece, like for example, a rook,
Yeah, I know what you're
in
talking about.
comparison to losing 5 pawns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's true.
Yeah, get rid of the weak points before you move on to the, final battle, so to speak.
Yeah, and there's even pieces in the game of chess where you want to get rid of them early because in the end game, pieces like the queen are so powerful.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but we all know that what piece is the most important to take out at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like strategy, but I think I prefer the instinct. Because wasn't it stated that I forgot his name. I think it was Gote, the opposite general in the
Yes.
the first war. And then Duke was instinct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because strategy could naturally come with the instinct.
See, the thing with that is that in certain instances, instinctual will win, but in other cases, you could argue that if there is a big enough battlefield where a strategical general can take advantage of that, then I think they'd win every time.
I guess it just depends
That's true.
on the people. To be
Yeah, it
honest.
depends like on the strength of your unit. I mean, if you have like a special unit like the Heshin unit, then you can mess up the opponent's strategy, giving the instinctual general.
Yeah, I think a lot of like.
Or if you had those mountain people in the first arc, those mountain people don't mess around. Like they eat your face.
Oh, yeah.
They eat your face.
They're wild.
I like those guys.
They're the only people I would not like to lose to. Like except for there's another general we know about, but that's later. He's another guy. I would not want to die to him either. Like
Yo, Tanwa, I forgot about her sexy ass, man.
Yo, Tanwa. Oh
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, your Tanwa is
Yo,
those
Tanwa.
mountain people
Ouki
just
boss.
like they were so
she's the
sick.
forest
like, even,
goddess.
exactly. Like the only thing that can stop them was that that weird gorilla guy that Sikiyu like
Nah, he
adopted
couldn't even
and
stop
stuff.
the new one.
Oh, Ronk.
No,
Ronkai,
he did
right?
until the other guy went crazy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he was a little bit like he was sturdy, but he
Yamabajo.
couldn't actually do much to them. Like they
Nah,
were
he
still
did mess
running
up
it.
one of those
They were
guys.
still
Like, broke
running it.
one of. Now he
Oh yeah,
kind
one
of
of them.
like
I
until
think,
the
one
guy
of
was just like remembered his dark past, and he was just like, okay,
yeah,
it's time to bring the
Baggio,
beast out.
he's insane. It's
Yeah,
time to
that
go
was
back to
so
my
cool.
old self. And then that stance that he took, like when he went like bare low to the ground with like 2 swords in his hand. Oof,
Yeah,
that was hype.
so sick.
Yeah.
That was
Yo, the
hype.
hypest moment so far was when old boy, I think his name Baku Koshan. I can't remember exactly what his name was. He was leading the charge uphill when they went and got the vice general, I guess you would call him. Like when he stabbed him and then he thought he was done, but then he stabbed him through the neck and like took his head off or whatever. I think that was the hypest moment so far.
I don't know, man. Like the second arc when because Shin is like kind of obviously the main character and stuff, and he's getting gassed up and he still thinks he's becoming sick and stuff, and then General Ouki comes in and just like tells him to basically shut up, and he just puts the cleave on his neck and he just pushes him away, and I was just
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
he
that was
just
dope.
punked him. Like he knows now you can't fuck around now. This guy's a general now. You better shut up.
Yeah.
Like when you're in his presence, you better just act right, basically.
I thought one of the best in the second arc. I thought one of the best scenes was when we see the chariots come out, and Kyokai was like, "Yo, we gotta freaking hide under these corpses and let them pass by." And we freaking see the chariot troops come on out, and they're stabbing the dead bodies, and then that one kid in Shin's group ends up getting stabbed, but he takes it like a man. I thought that was one of the best scenes.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah.
I think that's a good thing too because it shows that these characters are actually like living, breathing, thinking characters.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
That moment, like a lot of people had told me that the wars in Kingdom were comparable to the fights in Ippo, and I was like, so okay, I better be expected to see some heavy strategy. And when I saw that moment, and that was quite early on, so I had no doubts for the rest of the arc that the strategy in place was so well thought out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they used dead bodies like over and over again later on in the series as strategic points. And
what I like about sorry, go on.
no, yeah, I mean, I was pretty much finished, but yeah, you just have to like use your surroundings, like dead body, shields, spears, like anything that the enemy might have dropped, you can use it for yourself.
Exactly. What I like about the strategy is that it's like it's extremely intelligent, but it's not like something that's completely far-fetched that would never happen. Like it's stuff that you could actually do in that situation.
Yeah.
Like for them to think of it is, and if they don't think of it, it really shows like it takes an effect on their group. Like the fact that you could lose so many people if you don't think of the right strategy at the right time, or if you got like an enemy strategist that's even better than you, like it will mess you up. It will really mess you up.
Exactly, like, and the thing I like about it as well is like when Kyokai like says everyone make using the dead bodies and stuff to make the ramparts to destroy the I forgot what they call the chariots, and then you find out because she made those things, it impacted the whole battlefield because people started copying her as well. So it was just so cool to see how that works. Like one little thing can have such a big effect on the rest of the battlefield because people start copying and they're like, oh, this is how we get through the chariots and stuff. So it was really smart to see that.
Yeah,
the fire
gives
starter.
morale boost as well. Yeah,
exactly.
Like the point in the war that stood out to me the most was the start, because like Shin has never been in like a proper war zone. He's only ever like dreamed about it. He's glorified it his whole life. Yeah, and I'm gonna go into the war. I'm gonna kill all these people. But he never knew what it would be like to see these dead bodies, like to see everyone cutting each other's heads off and all of that. So like I expected him to roll up there and chicken out a little bit. Like I thought he'd still be strong, but I thought he'd kind of like it'll put him in his place a little bit. That's what I was expecting, but he proved me wrong. Like this dude, he ran straight into the place, jumped over the enemy's shields, sliced up a couple people, then opened the way for the rest of the army to get through. Like that was so hype.
I didn't think it would phase him. I thought he was ready.
I think in a way though, it kind of does show like his character a bit, because like when you look at it, like he grew up his life as a war orphan, so all he knows in his life is war. So there's nowhere he can run to, or his back is always against the wall. So like for him in that scenario, like for him to be ready for that, it shows like he had the mentality to be prepared to be in a situation like that.
Exactly. Like he's a really strong character. Like even if you may not be as strong as some of the people physically, like mentally, he's up there. He's really up there.
I mean, the thing I love
from like mental illnesses and that kind of stuff, like post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I know this is a seinen manga, but I feel like Shin is like a shonen protagonist to a certain extent. I don't know about you guys, but
yeah,
he does
I don't know. He reminds me of Luffy a lot.
I feel like he's shonen personified. Absolutely.
He's a mix of Luffy and Naruto.
Yeah,
like
I would say like he kind of is like a Luffy mix, but like I don't know, like
they keep
if
it
I compare the two, I
realistic,
would probably pick him over Luffy.
And then Kyokai would be Sasuke, of course.
Oh yeah.
He's definitely Sasuke. I mean, definitely Sasuke. Definitely Sasuke.
Kyokai's my favorite character.
But is Kario 10 Sakura?
Oh god, no.
No. Don't play those games.
Don't compare her to Sakura.
Kario 10 would be Shikamaru, if anyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, actually, yeah. I don't know. Kyokai could be like kind of Shikamaru as well a bit.
Kyokai, like character design,
I say
reminds me so much of Hiei. If you guys ever watch Yu Yu Hakusho,
Yeah.
Hiei, that reminds me of like her design. Who's your guys' favorite character then so far in the first two arcs?
General Ouki, 100%.
Yeah,
100%
Ouki.
General
Yeah.
Yeah, he Ouki was my favorite character until chapter 212, bro. It stayed like that for a long time.
Until chapter 212, did you say?
Damn it, Devil Egg.
Alright. I want to check what chapter.
I think like for me, like personally, like I would have gone with like a character like Shin, but I think like looking back on it from those first two arcs, Issei has been the one to take it for me. And I think like towards the end of the first arc, when he has that conversation with Ouki, saying like, I'm not a too carefree of a guy to just go and pick my sides, but I'm willing to see what you're gonna make of the dream that you have to unify China and become the king that I see in you from King Sho. I just thought like that was absolutely beautiful, like the way Ouki kind of put in, like especially the drive you see in Issei's eyes, because that's what just kind of makes the series. It isn't Shin just becoming the great general under the heavens. He wants to unify China. He wants to be able to build like a world, like a country that can be able to live in peace under one banner.
I want to ask you guys that aren't like fully caught up yet. So all of you guys that are still out around about the second arc, right? What like do you think of Oiki's motives and like what team he's rooting for? Like from what you've read, how do you think like it's going to play out with him?
I think I mean,
Yeah,
like I look at it like the end of the day when I see.
You're caught up though.
Oh fuck! Okay. Yeah.
I know. Dan's not caught up. Dan.
I kind of look at it more like he likes war, and just you know what I mean. So, for example, that's why he liked Issei when he saw that his goal was to like unify all China. It's because he sees him as being someone that's like going to try and stand on top of everyone, and it will allow him to go back out. You know what I mean?
So he's because Issei's or Issei, whatever you want to call him, is going to warrior basically on that train.
Yeah, that's why he likes him.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like whoever's gonna give him like the best battles, or like whoever like his chance would be to get the best like excitement out of warfare type thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got from the beginning. Is I thought that was like his motive was whoever he wanted to go like to war with, he would join.
Yeah.
So basically, one vision. Your question is, what do we think Ouki will become from what we've seen?
Like,
yeah, like kind of. Yeah, what side is he on?
Oh, what side is he on? I think he's on.
Your question's a good one as well, though.
Well, then I'll answer them both. Then I think he's on. I think he's on safe side.
Okay.
And what I think he'll become, I think he'll be like Gregor Clegane with a heart.
Okay. Okay. Gregor Clegane, the mountain.
With the heart.
Yeah, that was an important part of it.
Yeah,
that was some whole different thing.
I think the main reason this manga works so well is because you can have like the whole focus on the battlefield where you just see a general and his hyped up men behind him slashing down like thousands of men at a time, but then you can focus on one small soldier in an army of 1,000 and just see like the small scale fights that they have that impact the battlefield so much, which is the reason why wars are won. Those small scale like fights that break out between Shin and the other, I guess, fodder, pretty much, yeah. And the morale he gives his team.
The domino effect.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Kingdom, like, you really can't pick like a favorite character in the series because the whole series like has living, breathing characters. You actually care for them. And even the atmosphere of the whole manga just like it sucks you in like after like the very first arc, in my opinion. The second arc is great as well. And what I love about Kingdom as well is that, you know, it's actually based off of real events in history, and even like Shin, Issei are also based on figures from that time period. Of course, like in the manga, there is actually, you know, obviously fantasy elements to it. Obviously, some of these events didn't happen or they're changed to a certain extent, but how it's related to like real world events and how the author executes it, it's like holy you know, it's hype.
Yeah, like I always mentioned how much like, because I always read the author notes when I was catching up, like on the end of each like page or whatever, at the end of each chapter, and it's crazy to see how much like effort he's put into like researching all like Chinese history and stuff like that.
Yeah,
all the effort he puts into the stat sheets.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. I mean,
one thing I don't like about the stat sheets is the fact that like not everyone's kind of on the same scale. Because like for some people it will show strength, speed, and intelligence, and someone else it will just show strength and then loyalty and something else. Like it's not all the same for everyone.
Stat sheets are something that like every single like shonen reader of any series would want in their series, but they don't realize it. And then you see it in Kingdom and you're like, holy shit, why haven't we had these from the beginning?
I realize it.
The other thing that I somewhat don't like about those is like if we ever get a situation where like someone's stats are so high that even like in that situation that they're put in, they shouldn't lose, but they do. Like I think that will maybe come down eventually, because like referencing One Piece, like things like Luffy and the Nell and stuff like that, like those are moments I don't like the series because it's just like those characters shouldn't lose, but because plot armor happens, they do.
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like
It is
with
the best
Kingdom,
example.
there's really no
Well,
no
if they're
plot.
going to lose, it's going to happen regardless of the stat sheet.
Well, my point is, so like if their stats are so high and the person they're fighting against are like a lot lower, like they shouldn't lose. But like usually, like the writer does a good job like making it so like I don't know how to put it, like the situation, like other factors come into play to help
Yeah,
that
like
character.
the class A, and all that.
Exactly, because I feel like the author does a really good job of like keeping us informed on the bigger wars. Like I think you see it later, not so much in the first war, but like in the bigger wars later, you see like kind of like every so often in the chapters he'll like re-show you where the battlefield is and where everyone is on the battlefield and like what's happening, just to make sure everyone understands what's going on. So there's no like person B from across the battlefield on the next chapter is like across the other battlefield. Like,
And I really do appreciate that as a reader.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I like how they manage time in this as well. So like it's not like
Yeah.
a day by day thing all the time. Like they'll randomly pop up saying, "All right, so it's been 3 months since the last events have happened." Like it just keeps the pacing fresh. Like it keeps everything moving. If that makes sense.
Like there's a
Yeah, it doesn't like drag around too much. Like it just perfectly like, it looks good.
Yeah, and there's several days that go throughout the whole battles.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and ask all of you who just got to the second arc. What do you think about the art so far?
It's beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It reminds me of when you see like in like a textbook or something like that. Kind of like not so like bright and like shiny like One Piece and like all these Shonen Jump ones are, but like a bit darker. Not too much dark like Tokyo Ghoul and Berserk, but like kind of in between that.
I think the thing that caught my eye immediately from Kingdom, and I think it was the first one that I noticed of it, was the panel where they're looking out at the mountains. Whenever we got to the mountain tribe, that double page spread shocked me. I said,
great.
Yeah, it was
wow.
beautiful.
And then whenever we got into the invasion and we got the double page spreads, whenever you're looking at everything from beneath, from the side, and I was like, this author's insane.
Yeah.
And this series is released weekly, is it not?
Yeah, it comes out I didn't think like officially comes out on Wednesdays, but for us, we get it. It's gonna be like on Sundays now.
Okay. Yeah. The author, how he, I don't know what he does. Maybe he draws like a chapter beforehand. Actually for the following week, but his attention to detail in the art is just amazing, and it amazes me as well how this series is released weekly. I would expect this from a monthly manga.
I agree, 100%.
I mean, I think it's like
really
certain magazines, like I guess like in the way I can look at it is like the magazine that it's in, it's the same magazine as like Tokyo Ghoul, and you look at that and like Terraform Mars, like the art for that is like really good, and I think it comes from like the magazines, like they have, I don't know, like free reign, but like these guys, like when they come into work, they probably love what they're doing. So like in instance, like you look at sometimes with like Shonen Jump, sometimes like the art's like a little bit sloppy with certain series. When you look at something that's like in the seinen genre, it always ends up looking like really nice.
Yeah.
I think that's
like
because
it really shocked me at the start when I saw the first page. Like the like flash forward page.
Yeah.
That art on that page is amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The art on this, like even the fodder look like so cool on that page.
Yeah.
I think the reason that Seinen, as you said, Seinen art is better might be because the authors have more free reign on what they can write. So it means that obviously they're going to enjoy it more if they can do whatever they want. They're not limited by the shonen tropes of like no excessive blood, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Seinen series is my favorite genre, and it's mainly because of the fact that, like you said, they can have freedom. They can add the maturity to the series. They can do what they want. Like that's what I love about Seinen series because you can get. I mean, when it comes to shonen series, they're limited on what they can do, but again, with Seinen series, they have more freedom. That's what I love about the genre.
Yeah, Seinens don't get pinned down to tropes like shonens do.
Yeah.
Because, Shonen Jump just wants the money, so they're just going to do whatever gives them the most.
Yeah.
And that apparently is fairy tale.
You can't be saying that out loud, man. They're going to shut us down.
It still kind of blows my mind a little bit that we have yet to see like an English release, just like from Viz Media, considering that they released Terraform Mars and Tokyo Ghoul. So you figure that the third best, and I'll say this again, the third best-selling manga in all of Japan, something that's beaten Attack on Titan, has yet to receive an anime remake, hasn't received an English release. I mean, like, do they not like pay attention to the details? Like,
Pisses me off so much.
I was shocked when I found that out.
Go ahead.
yeah.
They could cash in so hard. I mean, they have the Kingdom box sets at my local Walmart. So I mean,
Yeah.
Wait, Japanese Kingdom box sets.
no, the DVDs for the anime
All
Yeah.
right.
with English
God.
dub.
But
I mean,
yeah, like, one thing I think a lot of people get like taken away from or like turned off by for Kingdom is like it's based on like Chinese historical events. And I don't
Yeah,
think a lot of people are like really into that. So I don't think that like
Mhm.
but I don't think it's so much about that. It's kind of like what we discussed earlier, like the strategy, and, like the in depth that the artist goes into to like describe events.
mhm.
So like I feel like once we get like a good, hopefully anime, which who knows when, if that will ever happen, I think that will start getting people into it.
Think about it. Right now, we're doing a stream talking about, the beginning of the series. Like, I've noticed even, like, it's so huge, the influx of people that are starting to read Kingdom.
Yeah.
That I feel like right about now is, like, the big time to start releasing volumes. I mean, Kingdom just placed, what was it, 10th in, like, all the Japanese media sales, which out of every media in Japan, it came 10th.
Mhm. Like, it beats Star Wars. Like, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
And that's without a solid anime, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like, if I were to predict right now, honestly, I would say, like, if the way that things are going right now and it still builds this impact that's doing right now, by the end of 2017, I would not be surprised. Like, I know, like, right now we're supposed to be getting, like, a live-action film. But you guys ever seen the teaser for that? It's like,
Oh, that looks actually really good.
so nice. It looks so nice. But if anything, I can definitely see like probably us getting maybe like an anime remake or probably even the English release by the end of 2017 if everything just keeps on rising and rising. Because I just cannot see it like staying at one level. It's just going to keep going higher and higher.
Yeah. So here's an interesting question: who here thinks that it's going to overtake One Piece either this year or next year? Because I feel like it's going to.
I think so.
No.
What do you mean?
I think it will.
Like, do you think it's
Nah, I
gonna
think-
like break
Nah,
not overall
Oh,
sales obviously,
no.
but like during the year? Because I feel like
Popularity.
once we get into
No.
the Wano arc is when we're gonna get really interesting. But I feel like this arc right now, obviously I won't say what it is, but this arc right now is like it's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's just
I don't
Talking
think it will.
this Kingdom arc, DGK,
the
or
arc
do you
we're
mean
just
the?
getting into right now is
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it would be the equivalent in my opinion to like the hype that Wano has for One Piece.
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't. Okay, I think all of us haven't caught up yet. So okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, no worries.
But-
We'll just
Yeah,
say
but-
2017 in general will be an amazing year if you're a Kingdom or One Piece fan.
Yeah, I received so many comments of that. Yo, I can't wait to catch up to Kingdom, man. It's gonna be a good year.
But I'll just say the difference, because I do like Kingdom a lot, but the difference between that and One Piece is just that One Piece world is so much bigger, like
Yeah,
so
no.
much bigger than Kingdom.
But
Even though Kingdom is awesome, but the One Piece world, like you'll never find the characters like Kingdom. They might be a bit different, but they're generally kind of the same almost. You know, if you know what I mean. They're like,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
yeah, exactly.
like man,
But yeah,
like I know. I think whatchamacallit, Professor Anime and I think King Recon are both on the same arc right now, which is like everyone says is probably the biggest like arc
Yeah.
in manga so far. And like I feel like once everyone gets to that arc, is kind of when they'll start seeing like the greatness.
wait, is it? I'll spell it out. Is it the?
Yeah, no,
the
it is what
Yeah.
you're thinking.
I'll
Oh,
just
okay.
put it this way: this is my personal favorite favorite arc in all of manga. Like nothing touches this. Like I see like with King
Wow.
Recon sometimes, like when he says like the Shogun assassination arc, I say this arc honestly to me like it's just a little bit above that.
Yeah, like
Oh.
I don't even know when the arc ends. I'm still somewhere in the middle of it, and I just finished something that I thought was one of the greatest and most hype things I've ever read.
Yeah,
Wait,
It
what
was
was
insane.
can't say.
Okay, I know we're skipping ahead quite a lot, but like, you guys think it's like one of the best arcs in manga, like period? Or just-
Yeah, I can wholeheartedly say like for Seinen, it's easy.
Huh?
I can
No,
definitely
no.
say like it's up to it's one of the best.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just saying like it's a future arc. I'm not saying nothing about it. But
Dan,
Wait,
you're not caught up
What
yet.
about Chimera and Arc? Is it seriously beating the Chimera?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
like-
definitely. I would say so. Yeah.
It's being Enos Lobby Water 7?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've got to finish the
Yeah.
arc before I can say that.
Ooh, okay.
I have to
okay.
finish the arc before I can say
I'm
that.
sorry. Like, so I have finished the arc, and I love the arc, but Enos, okay, we'll talk about that later, I guess,
Like,
the next
yeah.
time we get on
Like,
that arc.
Yeah,
but-
we do
talk
like
about
a
it later.
yeah.
bad arc afterwards. We'll have Professor Anime, Yusuf, and of course, King Recon back here to get their thoughts on that.
But yeah,
Okay,
like,
cool.
I was spamming taking pictures for the later stream because like there's so many events that happen back to back after each other on the arc. This was crazy.
Mhm.
We're talking about the Coalition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, many people have said it's like the best arc in the series, and also, well, one of the best arcs in the series, I would say.
Mhm.
And it's also probably one of the best arcs in all of manga. That's what people are saying.
Yeah.
I
But-
don't know. It's a sick arc, but there's an arc just before that arc that's still fucking awesome as well. Like, I ain't gonna get
Is
into
it
that
better
arc,
than the
but-
Grand Magic Games arc?
I don't think that's possible, man. I'll be honest here.
He actually said Grand Magic Games arc. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But it was so good, Nikki. What are you laughing at?
I hope you've been taken over by a robot, Monkey D, because you're sounding crazy right now.
Oh man.
But yeah,
I hate the Grand Magic Games.
It really gets me pumped up and excited because every single time that I talk to a Kingdom fan that's caught up, they're saying that the current arc has the potential to be even better than the one I'm on right now, which to me is insane.
Yeah.
Hold on, what chapter number you on right now?
I think I just finished 318 was the last chapter I
Oh,
read.
okay, cool.
yeah, like to put in perspective, it's
Yeah.
like when Shin finally like goes Super Saiyan. That's
Oh,
how
nah,
Yeah.
don't talk about it anymore. Okay.
Yeah, don't say that, man.
Yeah, like,
You guys
because I want
really
to
say
talk
there
about
are
it.
spoilers.
You guys might make me talk about it. I might spoil it, so I'm not
Oh,
gonna talk. Let's not talk about it. 'cause
Wait,
it's
are you
too-
caught
Man.
up, Nikki?
No.
I'm on chapter 445 now, so
Oh, I was
I'm
about
like
to say.
55 chapters away. So yeah.
But
I'm so mad at Double Leg, man. I avoided spoilers so well.
Yeah, no more spoilers. Also for the chat too as well. Try not to spoil anything past chapter 73. If you can do that, that'll be awesome.
that will be tainted.
For
But
people catching up.
Yep. Or we send after the Mountain Tribe.
so of all the like groups so far, like the Mountain Tribe, obviously Ouki's group, like it's say Shin's group. Who's your guys' favorite so far? Like,
I mean, I would probably go with Shin's group right now, just because I see the potential that it has to be so big afterwards.
yeah, like I love the Mountain
I don't
Tribe
know.
just because like how crazy
Yeah.
cool they are and like
Yeah,
they
it's
fight.
hard to say.
I love their
Oh, sorry.
masks, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, them. I actually
Yeah.
want a fucking mask like that for Halloween so bad. They're such good masks. But I'd
Yeah.
have to get really hench as well, so that'll take some time.
Mhm.
and another thing that we talked about with me and like Dan and I think One Vision brought it up before was like when we first see right they're making their groups in the first war arc for the Way campaign, and you just see Shin walking around trying to find a group. I love that like anyone that's read any other manga, like we talk about like the Sasuke Factory, like right when you see Kyokai, like you kind of already know where the story's gonna go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I love when you meet the I forgot his name, but the old man that's the leader of the 5-man team.
Yeah.
I love it because it's like
He's
you just
I've
know.
never had anyone die on me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that-
the best.
That was such a good twist as well, because I thought this guy's a loser, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
I never had
slept on
anyone
him
die
at
in my
first.
group," and I was like, "Oh, that's quite good."
I forgot his
actually.
name too, but I'm just
Yeah.
gonna call him Shoe. He looks like a shoe.
But yeah, I love it because like I know like a lot of the other like 5-man groups were all about like killing big name people to like get credit and whatnot, but like his group and his focus was just staying alive basically. And I love it because I think he gets a little bit like obviously Shin later kind of like learns a little bit from that stuff.
Could you imagine how like nerve-wracking it must be for him as a person to be going into these wars? Because like when you think like every time he's going in with the week of the week, like pulling through that must be scary. Like walking in there knowing that you've got no one like reliable to watch your back, that must be terrifying.
No, but how can you say that? Like, Shin as a character is hyped
No,
up.
I'm not talking about just that. Yeah, because every time he always has the weakest group. Like every time he goes into war.
Yeah, but if he's gonna become a great general of the heavens, he needs to be able to
I'm
carry.
not talking about. I'm not
No,
talking
he's
about
not
Shin.
talking
I'm
about
talking
when
about
he's
the.
Shin. He's talking about like
Talking about
every
Shu.
campaign.
Yeah, I'm talking about that.
Oh,
We shall call him Shoe.
No, I'm looking up his name now. Don't worry.
Shoot,
Nikki, why would you do that?
For real.
But yeah.
Because
Trying to
the
challenge
people
that
in the
one
comments
community.
deserve the truth. They can't be just called guys Shu.
Oh, Taka. Is his name Taka?
Takuki?
Taka. I don't
It's
know.
not Cookie.
Isn't Taka the Sasuke's group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takashu.
Takashu.
Uh
Is that his
oh.
name? Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just love the fact that like they kind of went to like the depth of like how 5-man groups operate and stuff like that. And obviously we see like different groups later, like the higher forms of that. But just like it kind of I think let Shin see and like realize what he like Great General of the Heavens is gonna be later down the line.
Yeah.
Because like you said
Yeah.
earlier, is the small man groups like even they make a huge difference in the arcs, like in the wars, I should say.
Yeah, like Shin not only made a huge difference, he was the war winner basically. Like without him, they would never have won that.
Yeah.
Like for him
Well,
to
you
be able
could
to
say
do
that
what he
about-
did with the chariots and everything, he wouldn't have won.
By the way, the old
Who
man
y'all talking
called
about right now?
Hyrule. The old
The second,
the second
Who?
arc, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the way, the old man's called Hyrule, the one with the grey hair. So
So
just
shoot.
everyone knows. No, Hyrule, that's the old man, not the
I heard
leader. The leader I'm looking up.
But another
Who
thing
is
I was gonna ask you,
Hyrule?
I was gonna ask you guys is how do you guys
He's
feel about?
sorry, DGK. He's the old man with the grey hair, like who joins the 5-man group. He's like the last member, I think.
I don't
How
remember
do
the
you
old
guys?
guy. I remember the leader. I remember the two brothers, Kyokai and Shin.
But anyways, how do you guys feel about Dukio so far?
He's
Oh, I love
awesome.
him.
Seems sick.
I love him.
He's crazy. He's like, he's everything like a father you would probably ask for in life, man. If you want to go to the battlefield, like, oh my god, the Duke's amazing.
Because
I mean,
in the beginning, you think
I
he's
didn't
just
get that from
insane.
him.
Like,
Yeah, I didn't
like
get
he
that
just
from
want,
him.
Lots
like
of
you
stuff
think.
spoiling shit.
I just love like the whole thing where like explaining like his army and everything, like in the early portions, like when he has like the mask and everything, like they're like just absolute monsters. Like you would not want to stand in their path, pretty much. Like if these guys go berserk, it's game over. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. Like when I saw Duke
Oh.
you in the arc 2, I didn't like him. Like he
Yeah,
was.
I'm not-
It's not that I didn't like him. It's just that he didn't stand out to me.
I was
Really?
I was actually kind of the same way. Like I felt like he wasn't like because when you see people like Ouki, right? Like you kind of just know that they're like the
Yeah.
best, right?
Yeah,
But then when you
true.
see Dukio, and at first when like they're explaining like oh like he kind of does what he thinks like on instinct, right? Which is how those generals operate. But to the point where it's like he was going in where if Shin didn't come to the side of them, they might not have accomplished what they're doing. But he was like he was preying on it, like he was betting like everything on that. But like it's so hard not to spoil things. I won't say
No,
anything.
but
Yeah,
like,
I-
yeah,
I
what you're
thought-
saying is true. That's why I say like without Shin, they wouldn't have won that war because literally Shin was the fire that Duke Yu was waiting for.
Yeah.
And imagine like so if he wasn't actually there, then they wouldn't have won.
I thought he was senile.
Right now, man. That
In his
what you just said.
initial appearance. I thought he was senile. I thought he was like crazy. I'm like, you just sending all your truth to die. What's really good,
Yeah.
bro?
Exactly.
That was just part of
that's
his
why I-
strategy. Like,
Yeah, that's what
for
I mean,
example,
like-
kind of like what Yusuf was saying, like the whole chess reference. Like some people literally do that. They send out all their pawns, and they literally let you take their pawns because they're waiting for you to take them so they can take all your other pieces. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it's just a
Yeah.
difference of perspective. Like he wants to send out the 4th infantry, right? Expecting them to be slaughtered and taken out. But in his mind, he's like, all right, they can die, but as soon as they send out the whatever, like their massive armies, we're gonna go and slaughter them. You know what I mean? Like his
Yeah.
mind wasn't on the initial battle for that day. It's the end game and nothing else. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Yeah,
Hey,
like,
exactly.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now that Dukio would have been killed before he even reached Gokei if Jin hadn't killed Maki and Shuki. Well, just Maki actually, not Shuki. But
Yeah.
you guys
Who's
remember-
Maki again?
Maki and Shuki were like the duo guys that Gokei set
They were
out
the two guys.
Yeah, to kill Dukio.
They were like the gold and silver brothers from Naruto.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and-
That's what I'm saying. Like without Shin, he wouldn't have won the war.
In the stat sheet,
Yeah,
it
definitely.
says that when these two guys like team up together, their strength is 99.
Yo,
Mhm.
Well,
did they ever get
they
old
still-
girl outside the gourd on Naruto?
Say that again.
Did they ever get old girl out of that gourd?
Yeah, they did. I think they showed
Okay.
it in, like a show
All right.
episode or something.
But
'Cause
I don't know
I-
because
I can't even remember, man.
Even if Shin wasn't there, they still have Kyokai, and at the time, I still think she was stronger than Shin because she's a madman. Like
Kyokai was always
Yeah,
stronger than Shin for quite a while, but Kyokai was dealing with like people in the backline.
oh yeah, true. Yeah.
The thing is
Well, I
about
mean, like,
Kyokai, right, is that like this person didn't really, they didn't set out to like fight like Shin did. Do you get what I mean? So like there was a difference between them. Although they could have put in work if they really wanted to, I don't think the motivation was there. So like it was like, I'll kill people if they try to kill me, but I'm not going to actively go out and try to take a general's head or all of that stuff. It's like in that sense, that's where they kind of differ.
Yeah, that's true. Like I remember the part in the second arc when she just like she kills all those men and she just goes, "Oh, I'm having a break now," and all the other guys have to run away. That was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
So Kyokai is a girl.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah, I was trying to like.
Yeah, I know
tried
you
so
coughed,
hard
and I
to
was like,
talk
I
around
knew it was
it.
too late, but to be honest,
Interesting.
Kyokai has
Damn
that
it, Nikki.
hairstyle and stuff that could be, but again, like there's a lot of characters, stuff you'll see in the series who look like it's a girl, but could be a guy. So like for now, I would probably say like just to leave it as a question mark until you guys get more into it.
I thought Hio at the beginning was a girl.
As
To be
I-
honest,
Yeah, that's what I thought
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
like that looks like such like it's not like kind of Chinese culture. It's like some people look like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how do you guys feel about Kyokai so far? Like, what do you think they're gonna like that person's gonna
favorite
end up
character.
being?
From
I was
the
gonna say
second that they
he.
turn up, on the battlefield, like even with the headband, like just seeing the headband, my favorite character straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know they're gonna
Yeah, I
be
thought
like
the headband
something
was cool
big
too.
later, yeah.
I love that
big
scene.
Naruto
I love
fan,
that scene in
so I really like
particular
it,
where
man.
it's the one where I think it was like Shin, something's about to go down with Shin, and as soon as like he turns around, like all those people just getting cut down. You see Kyokai just like right there, just slicing up people with these.
That
I'm
was
just
sick.
like, oh my god, like
Yeah, that was
you know, it's like it's crazy, man. Like Kyokai is a monster.
Mhm.
That's like only a taste, you know, like.
Yeah, I just love the character design. Like having characters like that who are like kind of like better than the main character. Like they're stronger than the main character, right? Which is kind of like the
Oh,
vibes
for
that you
real.
get.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah. I think she was a lot
yeah,
stronger
most
than
definitely.
Shin at this point. Like at this point in the manga.
It's
Yeah,
like the second that you see her, it's just like it's an instant thing. Like you know that she's just gonna be so powerful. The fact that she's like not revealing anything about her, you just know. Like it's just there.
exactly.
The feeling's there.
The mystery character. The
Yeah.
the Killia of the group.
Even what they did with Kyokai in the Rebellion arc, how she sliced up all those I forget what it was, the Seikyo the Seikyo's the younger brother's troops
Right.
in the Rebellion, like how she did that little sort of ritual thing.
Oh yeah, that was a sick panel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will agree with what someone said in the chat. Seeing what Shin had to do to get to where Heiki was, you know, when you think about it,
that was
Heiki
sick.
just got given the position of a 1,000-man commander as like a man who basically just relied on Shin 100% in the first arc.
Yeah.
And then he just
No, I think I don't know. I get what you're saying, but
the thing that I like
Heki
about
took
sorry.
that mad blow for Shin to like
Yeah.
from that I don't know if he's a general, but the West Wing. So if Heki didn't do that,
Saijo.
Shin would be dead.
Yeah.
The thing is though, like
Exactly.
with like this manga, right, is that the person that does most of the fighting isn't necessarily the person that is the hero. So like although Shin like he was the hero in the first arc, don't get me wrong, but although he did like do most of the fighting, Heki like offered that morale boost, which is something that at the moment at that time Shin doesn't know much about. Do you get what I mean? He doesn't really know how to be
Well,
a
I guess
leader at that
he's
time.
a leader. Yeah. Because leadership stats are like a separate thing from strength.
Yeah.
And-
So then
and
when
plus-
when you like
yeah.
when you take that into consideration, Heki put in a lot of work in the first arc, even though it may not have been like directly cutting down the enemy or anything like that.
Yeah.
A lot
And
of go ahead.
He even he even schooled Shin. Like for example, when Shin was fighting that beast with the two mountain people,
Rankai.
and then
Yeah,
Ronkai.
right.
With
And then
Baji.
he couldn't think he could cut him with a sword, but Heki's like obviously the sword is strong enough. You just need to use it properly. Basically,
Yeah.
schooling him on how to fight. And if it wasn't for Heki like given him those kind of like knowledge and stuff, he wouldn't get that far. So,
But yeah, like a lot of people. Oh,
I was shocked to find out that Rankai was a gorilla.
Yeah, it was like a rare species of ape, and I'm just like, what? Like he doesn't even look like it, but when you notice like the hands, like the paws and stuff, it's like what? Like,
but yeah,
it
they
also
say
redeems
treat
his
the monster,
character
though,
for me.
like-
Because I was like, oh, this scumbag just gonna do whatever that little guy tells him.
Yeah,
Then
I just
find
love
out he's
how
an
like
animal.
I love how they kind of explore the characters like mindsets with like Seiku and like the stuff that he used to do to Rankai when like I guess when Rankai was like a little ape and stuff and everything, like how he used to torture it and force it to do things it shit wasn't supposed to do, and then because like when you raise something almost like a kid and like the mindset becomes like so messed up, it's gonna only learn the things that I remember as a kid, and it's not gonna like have like to care or it's like those kind of things. It's gonna be a violent thing, and that kind of really like shows a lot of like Seiku's character and as a whole.
Yeah,
I got some cousins like that, but instead of being submissive, they turned to jugging and robbing.
But yeah, like one thing I was gonna clarify.
Y'all think I'm playing?
Nah, we know you're being serious.
Oh my God.
But one thing I was gonna clarify for the Heki thing is, I know a lot of people like ask like even later down the line like why is he like always ahead of Shin, right? And I think part of it is like the author wants him to be there, like you guys said, like kind of the leader, like the mentor. Like one person that reminds me of is Naruto, like Iruka. Like I feel like that's kind of Heki's position.
Yeah.
But another thing I was gonna say too is like the caste system for anyone that like doesn't know in China, like old China, and like a lot of even other countries, it's basically a system where like you are born into a certain position, and when you're born into that position, unless you do something super crazy, you can't get out of it. So at the beginning of the series, when they're talking about like hey, like Shin, you're a slave, like you can't be in the military. Like that was a fact. Like he couldn't be in the military if he tried to sign up for it, because slaves were like get the negative, like they're at the 0 mark on the caste system. So Heki being born a noble, right, in a noble family that was military related, that he automatically pretty much got like a way big head start on Shin, and that's kind of like what is the difference between them. Like at the award ceremonies, right, when they say, oh, like we're raising X person by 2 marks in the caste system and the nobility, that's what they're talking about.
I don't know if I like that comparison though.
Ruka?
Yeah, Ruka was garbage, man. He was too complacent.
Who would you compare him to? Who would you compare him to?
Ruka to Heki.
No.
I mean, who would Stebo do it since he doesn't like that comparison? Who would you compare him to?
He's looking at the fairy tale.
I don't know, man. Honestly, because for the nobility cause, maybe
The struggle.
I really don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, there's a question I gotta ask the most of you guys too. It's like if there was one panel you can take from 2 arcs that you read from 1 to 73 that stands out the most to you, that like defines Kingdom, like what is that to you? So like I'll ask first of Professor Anime, like if there's like one panel from 173 that grabs your attention.
So
you said one panel from chapter 73?
Yeah, so like from 1 to 73, like one like
1 through 73,
like just something that really stuck out to you that made like it look really awesome to you, pretty much.
Oh, actually, I got one. So do you remember the part where Shin's standing on top of the rock before they go to the war, right? And then that one guy is kind of like talking to another guy. He's like, this is like a much different feel from what I thought it was going to be, because like all like the stench of blood and stuff like that before they started fighting. It's kind of like that's when they realized like they were actually going into a war zone, basically. Like I don't know if you guys know what scene I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like that's the first time there's like it was like a wake call. Because for Shin, everything before that was like it was gonna be a game where like I just have to do well and I become a general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I can't think of one right now.
I mean, the one to me probably is. Go.
I was gonna say the Baiju thing when he went berserk mode, and then like he was just so like the way he literally looked like an animal. He like the stance that he took was like an animal. That was just so hyped.
I would say when General Ouki is talking to Shin and he's trying to make a bet with him, saying, "What do you think's going to win, instinct or strategic?" That's one of my. I think that's my favorite panel.
I'd probably say I don't really know how you'd remember it, because it's kind of like just a panel. You kind of like you see it and then you move on. But it was when Gokei and Dukyo first meet, and you see the steam coming off of Dukyo, showing how hot-headed he is, and then you see that how cool, like how composed Gokei is, because it kind of shows the difference between an instinctual and a strategical commander who always has to have a cool head.
Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, I want to take mine back. Like, you know the scene where the mountain tribe people, they were breaking through the red gate. I can't remember what it was called, the red turtle gate or something like that. And then like they were all of like the soldiers on the other end, they were like, oh yeah, you'll never break through this. But then they actually did it. And then they sprinted up to them, and then they just got into their face. It was just like a panel of the soldiers looking scared as fuck. And then you got like the mountain people just looking like ready to tear their heads off and shit. Like, it just looks so dope. Like, I'm gonna try to find it now, and I'll send the picture to you guys.
Yeah, like I love Kingdom because like after there's so many of those scenes, like I said, like I really went like probably took 300 pictures of like these chapters, just because there's so many good scenes where like it like you said, it's like, you know, something you'd only see in like a monthly manga. Like the artist puts so much work into each like panel later on, especially.
Yeah.
I think like my favorite scene in that arc was the I think we talked about this before. Yeah, we talked about this before. The double page spread when Shin is looking out and sees that, you know, yeah, this is a war zone, you know, and you see the formations of, you know, the troops spread out. You see the Shin's army, and then you also see the other army. Like, in the art style, that's when I knew, like, you know, holy shit, you know what, this series really has potential to be one of my favorite series in all of manga, and it actually has reached my top 5. Like, it's ridiculous, again, with the art style and how Shin you know, just realized that, yeah, he is in the middle of a war zone. You know, like he it's like looking out to the horizon and does not know what will be the outcome of the war, you know.
Right.
I mean, like, I think the one that really comes to mind for me, and like this is something I'm probably gonna hold dear to, because like I've been caught up for like the last 2 years, and then like when you have the experience from like binge reading it to like week to week, it's the one like the very beginning when like Hugh's like telling him like, take me to those heights with you before he passes on. I'm just like, I just cannot wait for the moments when like he achieves his dream, because like you feel like if you were there like from the very beginning reading the series like week to week, you feel like you were on that journey, like you were one of those men that ride with Shin from the very beginning. Like,
oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
I can't think of a specific panel, but aside from the panel I mentioned earlier with whenever you first see all of the mountains in that double page spread, the other one that comes to mind, it would have to, I don't remember who exactly it was, but it was just because of the perspective on it, and it really made me appreciate Kingdom's art really, really early on, and it just the beauty of I compared it to camera work, because it was just I was so awestruck, and I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it. Where you saw somebody leap down with their sword, but the way the angle was it was like right next to the person's cheek, and that thing has always stuck out to me, because I think the perspective is very, very important when it comes to drawing manga, and I feel like it's not used as much as it should be. Like Ippo uses it a lot, and it's something that I feel like I would love to see in other mangas.
Yeah.
Yo, is that boxing manga?
Yeah.
Ippo's amazing, by the way.
Like, who reads Ippo here?
I do a little bit.
I do.
Oh damn! I don't think the only other person I've met who reads Ippo is One World.
Ippo's in my top 5, man. I love that series so much, yo.
Ippo is higher than One Piece for me.
I really want to see another continuation of that anime. Like,
we need season 4 needs to happen soon.
Yeah,
almost everything. Like all my favorite stuff is all in the manga, so I'm just waiting for Madhouse to animate it.
Nobody say any of the fights, because the fights will catch you off guard that happen.
Yeah, I'll just say, like, when season 4 does happen, there's gonna be one fight in particular. If you guys know, based on like the content they might adapt, it's hype. Like, there's no other word you can say but hype.
And they cover it so fast, because they covered 430 chapters and like 125 episodes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, back to Kingdom Greatness.
Back to Kingdom Greatness.
What would you guys say is like your favorite faction so far?
Wait a second. One, I'm gonna change my pick because First Last made a good comment. Like, you know, when the mountain soldiers, you think they're dead with all the arrows and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
So I
That
really
was
thought
hype.
that they just get up and they just start just thrashing everybody. That was sick. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what's your guys' favorite faction?
I like the obviously I like the Chin because the main character. You want to root for the main characters and stuff, but like I'm really starting to like the Zhao army, like just for certain
Yeah.
reasons later down the line that I
Yeah.
can't talk about.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think I don't think anyone who's like at the beginning of Kingdom could have another favorite faction
Yeah.
Well,
because
you
we've
can,
only
because
seen.
I like the mountain tribe.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, they're allied with.
Yeah, but they're still
Oh,
another faction. They're a separate
yeah.
faction.
Yeah.
They're like their own entity in it.
yeah. I was
I
gonna
mean, it's
say
tough to say because like there isn't too many of the factions you can say of right now within the first 73, but there are definitely so many more afterwards to get into that. Like, like it's crazy because like when you get into it too, it's like even with like the way when they're facing them, like doesn't mean like Quinn was like the good people in that sense. You can look at it as like either way, who's the villain, who's the hero, right? So like.
But like even for me, I'd still say like for example, even General Ouki, like when he's got two with him, so I still think that's part of his crew. If you know what I mean? Those two guys
Say that
on the
again?
mountain.
Oh,
Like General Ouki when he's on the mountaintop with Shin, and he has
Yeah,
his
oh,
own
yeah.
kind of little. Yeah, like
Two,
even
yeah.
though they're just there for a few seconds, that group was just so cool to me straight away because you just knew they were just about that life basically. They
Yeah,
were
for
hardcore.
real.
Yeah.
And like, and
You
the
couldn't
funny
have
thing
put it
is,
any other way, like about that life. That's like the
it's true.
perfect. Yeah,
And
that's
because
the
even
best
like
way to put it.
the second in command, he scared me more than Uki
Toe.
a bit because
Yeah,
Toe.
bro.
Toe just never said anything. He has expressionless like
That
he
smile
has
though.
expressionless face. Yeah,
Yeah, like
he's got
when
a
we
fit,
saw
like,
him. Sorry, carry on.
he's got like a thin French mustache. He just looks really weird, but he's just you can tell he's a psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like when we saw him in like the first arc, right, in the Seikyu arc, and like Ouki was basically like ordering him around, like, oh yeah, go check the right corridor, go check the left corridor. I was like, this guy is a scrub. And he bossed through that door. He still had the smile on his face. He just sliced two people's heads off. I was like, oh my god. Like I was not ready for it.
DGK, are you guys doing the Outer Haven stream?
Yeah.
Oh, click on King Recon's photo. And
Yeah, I was about to
just
point that out right now. That is a very beast
yeah.
picture right
I,
there.
I found it on my computer from when I was first catching up, and I forgot how much I love this panel.
This
Man, with
is,
chariots.
this is probably one of the best panels to represent Kingdom. Not
Yeah,
as in
like,
a
this
hype
is
panel,
so
but
important,
to
man.
represent Kingdom. This is it.
You had the peasants fighting like
Yeah.
The true terror of war.
I think when I saw that, I sent that to everybody when I reached that page. I was like, fucking hell, look at the savagery. Like that's just savagery. That really shows how terrifying it must be for them.
Yeah, like dude, they're getting stomped by horses to death and then shredded on the side. Like, what do you do to that?
Yeah.
That's crazy to say. Like that's like an appetizer, honestly, to what's to come. Like,
Yeah, true that.
Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like that's the thing though about like Kingdom I love is like even the fodder in like their own way are very scary people, especially the veteran fodders. Like one thing I loved about Oki's army when he was running down the hill before like he like shows up, right? And they describe how like even he like when he's in front of his army, they all become like monsters, like demons behind him.
Yeah,
I love it because that shows you like a good leader makes all the difference in the entire series.
Yeah.
Like you'd have fodder people, and like if your leader's like strong and they're confident, like the rest of the army's just gonna follow suit.
I think one thing you would have to say about the leadership stat in general is that it's probably the strongest, but if you have too many leaders in an army, then I think you'd be weaker. Because with so many leaders, then everybody wants to have their say, and it could cause confusion. It could. I mean, I'd have to rethink about all the negatives it could bring to have like a lot of generals in one battlefield. But
like the
I feel
clashing
like,
of like the
Too many
ideas.
egos.
clashing of
Yeah.
ideas, like with Mobu and Oki later on. I shouldn't have said that.
oh no, what?
Damn it, Usep.
Oh,
It's so hard though for us to count up because it's like even me, right? Because I had to reread the last 10 chapters just so I don't spoil anything. Because like we all know like the arcs, like dude, the arcs after this, they
Yeah.
always get better and better. I love it.
Is that so true though?
Yeah, like my pain's the worst, man, because like I haven't been caught for the last 2 years. So, like at the time, no one was even talking about Kingdom. Like you had maybe the George Shea that was talking about it at most, but like just like casual fans and stuff, you had no one really talk about it.
Yeah,
I
right.
felt that way about
Everyone.
Gintama for so long. I understand your pain.
Yeah. You know, you felt like that guy was just chilling at the cafeteria, just waiting, for everyone to sit down, and then like the whole hood just comes through, man, and that's it.
Yeah.
I love it because like I feel like when I looked on YouTube, like when I found you guys, King Recon and Professor Anime, and like Usopp and stuff like that there really wasn't a whole lot of Kingdom reviewers and stuff like that. So it was kind of interesting because when I was reading this, I was thinking like, is this one of those secret gems that like people don't really know about?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know, it's too hype not to know. That's the thing, especially when it's the top 3. Like, you would think that there would be a lot of people on this like manga reviewing it.
Yeah, I just hope that this year, a lot of people are gonna, get attracted to this manga because it is really great, and hopefully it does get a English release because I would collect that on the spot.
Same.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
It's just amazing, like the atmosphere of this manga, what it contains, and I just lost my train of thought. But you guys get what I mean.
Yeah.
It's okay. I do it all the time.
I buy the volume solely just for the volume cover. Like I find the colors on the volume covers really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now I remember what I was gonna say. It's just like, again, I hope this year, a lot of other people are gonna get attracted to this manga. Hopefully there will be more, reviewers, live reactors, what have you, and that's what's gonna make hopefully Kingdom, get the English release, because right now at the moment this series has more so a cult following rather than a big fandom, so to speak. So
right.
Oh, look
Greatness right here, guys. Like when you can't have something in English, you have to support Japanese. So first volume, of course, and then the recent one afterwards that came out. Like you gotta support the greatness.
Oh, that's beast, man.
Where would this like series be for you guys in like your top 5? Like would this be up
Yes.
there?
Number 1.
Number 1 for me.
What? Number one?
My number 1.
It's probably gonna be
Over One Piece.
Yes,
I put over
man.
One Piece.
How many times I have to tell you this, Nicky? I rate it over One Piece.
We're gonna
Not
talk
even
later.
top
One
One
vision.
Vision.
We're gonna take One Vision. We're gonna
Yeah.
take One Vision.
We can talk. It won't change anything.
It will, man.
For me,
The way I kind of put it down, it's like Shonen, One Piece is the king. When it comes to Seinen, Kingdom is the king. If I have to
Definitely.
compare the two and like everything together, I would say Kingdom has the slight edge over it.
See, the thing with Berserk is that I'd say the first arc of Berserk is like absolute greatness, but the rest of it just doesn't live up. But Kingdom, I would say, is like continuous
Yep.
first Berserk arc quality.
Yeah, I mean, Berserk is technically I would say my favorite manga, but at the moment, like what I'm reading in Kingdom right now, just due to how much it contains, the politics, the strategy, the characterization, the way on how they go about warfare, and with Berserk, I mean, we basically, it's dark, and it's mainly showing the journey of Guts, but how much Kingdom contains is worth consideration to definitely have it in your top 5. And so far, it's coming close to beating Berserk, in my opinion.
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
for me, it's really close to hitting the 5th spot, but I'm not caught up. But because my top 4 is gonna be really, really, really hard because those are really, really special. But from what I just read, like whenever I just finished the latest couple of chapters that I did, I think it has the potential to be in the top 3. To be honest with you, that was some insanity, man.
Right.
Rico,
Yeah.
what is your top 5? I'm imagining like Gintama,
Yeah.
Toriko, One Piece.
Actually, Toriko's on top, is in the top 10, but not in the top 5. It's Gintama and One Piece. They switch out every once in a while. Then the third one is JoJo,
Yeah. Part 7 greatness.
and then the last 2 always switch. It's between 20th Century Boys and Ippo.
20th Century Boys. Oh, I've
gotta
not
finish
heard that in
that.
a while.
I still need to read that.
Yeah, for me, I would say it's top 3 for sure. Like, I feel like One Piece is still up there, but only because, like Law said, like I just kind of got caught like a week and a half ago, so like I'm still like it's still sinking in, and I'll probably end up rereading it. But like I said, this arc that we're on right now, I think it's gonna be like the big game changer for me
Yeah.
to see it overcome One Piece.
What do you guys think is the plus A value for Shin?
Like,
Like,
what
what
do
is
you
it
care?
I think
maxing
it
out
said
as?
something about how pumped he was or some shit like that.
No,
It
no,
said
but I
it
mean, like,
was-
what do you think the value at its max can be?
Oh,
The great general under the heavens.
I think he's gonna be even above that. I think he's gonna be the first guy that like unifies.
Because like I
all
kind of
China.
compare the two, like Pirate King being the great general under the heavens, but I feel like at the same time it might be even like the general under the heavens.
I
Like,
was gonna say, I
oh
feel
no,
like-
that's not what he was asking though.
Do you think he's going to be above the heavens?
think
I mean,
he's
what's above the heavens? Like we can't tell, you know.
Aizen?
yeah, nice. But yeah, like I think he's gonna be the first like guy that gets like a name specific to him for unifying all of China at the end.
That would be dope.
Like I'm assuming that eventually when we get, because like the first page we see, which is like supposedly the older Shin, right?
Yeah.
I feel like once we get to that like age for him, and then like Sai decides like finally go to war with everyone, right, and like finish off like to unify all of China. I feel like he'll be the guy leading everything. We'll get like, a big ass
Yeah.
panel where it's like
Yeah.
him charged like leading like 500,000 or 1,000,000 people or something crazy like number. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm just hyped for it. Because that's how I see it, like, comparing Luffy. Like, I see at the end of the series, Luffy, like, commanding everyone at the end of the series. And so, like, that's kind of where I envision Shin, is
But-
he's going to see everyone.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but it's so hard to talk about it without spoiling stuff. 'Cause
Thank you.
obviously, like, you know what I mean.
Well, don't
There's-
talk about it,
I know.
Nikki.
No, but there's like, because what he's saying, there's some stuff I want to say, like,
Nah, I
because
know,
there's
Nikki.
some
Well, then
people
don't
that
say
come
it,
later.
Nikki.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm gonna say. There's some people that come later that could. That's it.
This should,
You
this should
said
be
too much already.
this should be a reminder for people to get caught up in the chat that aren't caught up yet, because like we'll probably be doing one next week for 2 more arcs or whatever, because like it really does just get better and better. And there's certain arcs,
Yeah.
like obviously we all know which arc I'm talking about right now that like most people are on, but like there's that arc, but there's even arcs after that that like I almost like better.
Arcs after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a,
They
there's
come
an
close.
arc I
They come
like.
close personally, but yeah.
No, there's another one that's I think just a tiny bit better though. Honestly.
Yeah, I think we're on the same mindset which one we're
Yeah.
talking about. But
Yeah,
yeah, like,
DGK.
it's just,
Oh my god.
If
'Cause,
any
like-
of you guys catching up want something to inspire you, the next war arc, then oh my. I mean,
Wait, what are you
anybody
talking
who's caught up knows about how good the next war arc is.
I'll
Oh,
put it-
just,
I'll put it-
yeah,
I'll
the
put it
next
like
one.
this.
Oh my days.
The
I'll
next
put it
one
like
is
this.
where you will see true tactics.
Wait, what are you talking about?
No spoilers.
No
No
spoilers.
spoilers. I'm sorry.
No
I'll just say this. Put it like this: if you guys get caught up eventually, because it's on 501, which is like the amount of chapters on right now, you will feel like a man reborn. Like you have never experienced like a manga like Kingdom. As soon as you get there, like you feel like you're among like the great general under the heavens once you're caught up.
he's telling the truth, because like there's this, oh god, there's a scene that like I just
I didn't
Like
wait
legit,
till-
I'll just say yeah. There are scenes I cry too, but like the recent stuff they just did, like I'm a 22-year-old man, like, and I just fucking cry. I don't give a shit. Like, manly tears.
Dude, I've never sweat more in my life than I have when I read Kingdom, bro.
Oh,
I'll be honest with you.
Same.
I still don't think there's nothing that's made me. Something's made me tear up,
It was
but not cry
what's
yet.
up?
So, Brago.
Hey, brother.
Did I hear people say Kingdom over One Piece?
I would
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Do you hear that
I never
blasphemy?
said that, but I heard some people say that.
That's blasphemy.
truth.
I will come
It's
out here
not
and
the
say that. It
truth.
was me that said that. It was me that said that.
It's the truth.
I'm not surprised at that actually.
Frank,
Oh,
Brago knows.
there you go.
It's,
All the
it's
people
right,
chipping in
close.
now like, I don't want to admit it. I don't want to admit it. He agreed, man.
No, it's
right
close.
there for me. It's right there. It's One Piece
Yeah, it's
still has a
close.
special place for me, but Kingdom is right there,
Crazy,
man.
bro.
That's-
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay,
I mean, the
well,
thing
don't
that
wanna-
made it like, I
Oh.
remember you saying something like it makes you look at it sideways, right? And I agree with that because like, when you look at what's
Yeah.
happening with this arc, right? This One Piece arc had the potential to be so much, and it did not deliver all of that. Like it really didn't. But then when like you're reading, like you don't even need to be caught up to Kingdom to know that the shit that it's doing is already trumping stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's
I
already
feel-
over.
Yeah, I think One Piece, they like you said, missed up opportunities where you had great matchups. We can go back to Dressrosa, Luffy versus Doflamingo. That was executed poorly, where they should have had a legit one-on-one, but they had so many factors
Yeah.
that factored into the whole battle that it just ruined it in a way. In the current
I don't know.
arc, it's just no spoilers and stuff. It's doing a better job so far than what One Piece has done throughout the whole series.
Yeah, I mean it's the fact that they always like Oda can't let Luffy lose. I don't know why. I think it's like he's allergic to having Luffy lose. So
No,
he always manages to find a way to get
Can't make
around
it
it.
Shonen Jump. They don't.
Yeah.
Shonen Jump
Yeah,
tells them.
it's irritating.
Yeah.
It's really
No, but-
annoying.
Yeah, if
He
Luffy
loses a lot of the
it's always
time,
a
though.
reason. Yeah.
He hardly loses, Nikki.
No, he
He,
only
every time
lost.
he fought Crocodile, he lost 3 times in a row and then
Yeah,
beat
like-
him.
Shin's like struggling.
he
his
won.
entire life
Yeah, that's
from
what I'm
the
saying.
moment
Like,
he came
and
out
those
to
were the
you know?
arcs that I loved a lot. But then when you're looking at like Luffy versus Cracker, right? Like the sheer power difference between them alone should have had Luffy losing. It should have had Luffy losing, no matter what.
Yeah.
I can't argue that, to be honest. Yeah, you probably got a point.
Like like when you compare it to things like Tokyo Ghoul, for anyone that's like fully caught up or even like halfway through it, like we all know what I'm talking about. But like
Yeah.
stuff like that is to me was like kind of like a mind like blown thing because it's like in Shonen Jump you never
Yeah,
see those things.
especially when Kaneki Ken went through.
Yeah.
Make the difference.
Wait, hold on. Someone said in the chat that Shin rarely loses, right? But
Shin loses.
I'll just say
I
this
can't,
right
I
now,
can't say
that's-
too much. But when Shin comes
Yeah,
against someone
he
that's
struggles.
powerful, he struggles. And it's not no bullshit when it's like, oh yeah, I'll get this friendship power up and I'll overcome it. It don't happen like that.
Yeah, but even against Dolphy, it was fair because Law put in that work to help him get to that point to fight Dolphy.
Yeah, but like
you know?
the way that I can put it is so like with Shin, it's like you know eventually like he's gonna get to that place, but I feel like his path to get there is a lot more tougher because like in One Piece you have like the dull fruit system and all that kind of stuff that comes to the advantage. Whereas like this is human beings. There's no like Super Saiyan, nothing. Like these guys
Yeah,
are learning
exactly.
from the ground up just to be the man that they want to be. And like it's not just one person who wants that dream. There are others out there and you have to kill to get to that dream.
I saw your comment, Usef. You dropped it 30 chapters in.
Yeah.
Who was it on this group that posted the last chapter of Tokyo Ghoul? I think yesterday or today.
I
think
saw
it's
you.
I think it's Professor Anime with the jacket.
Which one?
The one with the jacket.
The jacket fruit.
Yep.
Oh,
he's,
don't
Don't
bring that up.
do not start this. Do
he's
not
putting the
start.
jacket fruit on.
But
Oh,
the one
God.
thing I'll say about Kingdom compared to One Piece, there's the emotional level's a bit different. Like One Piece, I've cried a few times, but Kingdom not yet, and I've almost caught up. So
So
I
you've
think
been
Kingdom
invested
is
into
I
not
want to
One
say
Piece
that
something
type
to
of
that
show.
as well, but then I feel like
Yeah.
the blasphemy would kind of piss
Well,
you.
think about how long you've been reading One Piece though, like compared to
Yeah.
Kingdom.
but
A while, probably after reread to actually appreciate it because.
Kingdom
know,
isn't the type
no, I
of series
appreciate
that
like
evoke that
you-
kind of emotion.
But not on the level of One Piece though. Like One Piece, like I don't even appreciate Kingdom the way I appreciate One Piece.
Yeah, because I think One Piece gets you invested more because Kingdom because it's paced really well. But the good thing about One Piece being slow, you get invested in the characters a lot more. Like if you know what I mean.
I think it's just like if we all were to reread it, right? Like Kingdom wise, I think then we'd kind of like get more invested into it because I think that's where it came from. Because like 500 chapters, like I said, like I know most of us granted that within like a week or so, right? And I feel like that's like a lot to take in, if that makes sense, in a week.
Exactly.
Like you
Exactly.
do miss small details. Like One Piece to me, like I've reread it so many times that like I kind of know the ins and out. Where like Kingdom, there's still things
Yes.
like I forget.
Yeah.
What do you
True.
guys?
But there's like I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a moment that
Don't let me
happens
spoil.
in One Piece we all know in Marineford, and Kingdom hasn't got anything closer. Like there's something that happens as well, which is pretty sad, but not.
Well,
close to
Kingdom
that.
isn't the type of
Uh,
series to evoke emotion like that.
Wait, what are you talking about that
It
happens
should-
in Marineford?
We all know that starts with an A.
Come on, One Vision.
Are we talking about
It's not
Ace
even
Guy?
a spoiler.
Yeah,
though. Like,
hey, I'm just
it's
trying
not
to
even a
spoil
spoiler.
anything.
I think
Yeah,
everyone
I mean,
knows
if
how
it,
to-
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I
If it
mean,
doesn't-
I think it just comes down to like
Not everybody's caught up to One Piece.
character. You know, if you have
Yeah,
a
that's what
connection
I
with
mean.
certain characters, then you kind of understand like where it comes from. With Ace, like you knew like the character and everything about him and stuff. But like with Kingdom, it's like they introduced so many characters that like
Yeah.
you don't have to just stick with Luffy being the cool guy like to follow. You can follow the other guy who doesn't in his faction.
But I
No,
think
that's
with
a
Ace
good
dying, people didn't really cry because Ace died. They cried at the emotional reaction from Luffy.
Yeah,
more so.
exactly.
Like,
Nah,
not like
I
Nah,
Yeah, man. Luffy
Nah.
was
I
broken.
disagree.
I
Like
disagree
when
totally.
Ace was talking, I already had that mug coming down my face, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because he was my man
And
for so long, you know. Like
I cared about
Nah.
Ace, but not to the point where it's like, you know, like
Don't
like
do it to me.
when he died,
For me,
I
it
didn't
was
even
the
cry. I
aftershock.
cried at like,
It was the aftershock.
yeah,
was seeing him
Sometimes I gotta
talk to
tell y'all,
Jay
I'm a
afterwards.
sensitive man.
Nah, what? Don't you remember what the last thing he said is like, "Thanks for loving like a scum like me." That he dies. That was just, I was done. I was
because he lived his whole
tears.
entire life knowing that like he wasn't gonna be able to find people who gave a crap about him, and then eventually like it led to that moment where like he found a family, and unfortunately like he wasn't able to be there with them because he died.
Yeah,
But I think the
Yo,
reactions
someone
to it was
knows
more
Dun Dun
impactful
was the
though.
saddest.
Okay. Let's get back to.
When Luffy woke up.
Yeah, to the Kingdom Greatness we go.
Yeah, when Luffy woke up, that was more impactful.
Okay, yeah,
You know, I
true,
want to
but
cry,
Nah, I don't think it was more.
but I keep
true,
on
man.
remembering that it was Ace's fault for being a dumbass.
He's turning back around, and
I don't think he was a dumbass though. Like,
I mean,
What did you say about my father? That once he
No.
get away with
he
his
should have
dying
kept
breath?
running.
That's him
Should have
being
kept
human.
running.
All
No one talks bad about your father,
He
man.
wouldn't
Like,
be the same character that we fell in love with though. Like,
Yeah.
No, because his dedication to Whitebeard should have led him to run away, despite
Because
what
Whitebeard said
Akainu was
run
telling
away.
him.
Yeah.
No, but it's his pride though. Like, that's
Yeah,
who he's
exactly.
But what about his
Yeah,
severe
man.
dedication
Pride
to
over,
Whitebeard? That's
yeah.
also a strong
Yeah.
characterization of Ace. We can't forget about that.
But I'm not
Yeah,
sure though.
you
Like,
get him, Stebo. Yeah.
like had he
I
had he
think-
run away
yeah.
after everybody came to go rescue him? I don't know, man. That wouldn't have
that's
sit well
like-
with me.
It went so well.
It would have
Because
been
Whitebeard
like
said
if
run
everybody
away.
else is dying, you're running away. Like he would never do that. So it's
Precisely.
like I agree with like him staying to fight Akainu after all that.
I'm gonna stop the stream in like 4 minutes or so. You guys got any like last minute like things you want to talk about? Like anything big from Kingdom?
One thing that I got to say is
Toad
that
the greatest
I
general.
love.
Toe's among the greatest, but yeah, we're gonna have to see.
Yeah,
in the
Toe.
next,
I love Toe.
discussion.
Fucking love Toe.
I love the fact that there's so much emphasis put on the generals and what sort of impact they have.
Yeah.
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 I guess
Not just
That's all
about
I got.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like it's not because no, actually I can't talk about the second war arc, but
I said that's all I
What do you
got.
mean, Stebo?
it's
I
more
think
about
Well,
But you can you not even define what you mean by that?
I got it.
Elaborate.
I got you, Stebo. I got you.
okay.
I
Well,
mean,
because
like
they say-
how the generals impact the battles, like different types of generals and stuff like that.
well, I
Yeah,
don't
like
think we can really
they
talk
have
about
the
this.
instinctual generals and they got the strategic generals, and then Ouki makes a comment about how
It's
war
really the
belongs
generals.
to the generals.
No, but I don't think we can truly have a discussion about this until the second war arc.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Later
like,
on
later
after
on
this,
you can get more of an opinion of it.
The generals, yeah.
But you kind of see the importance though of what, like, I mean, like if you could talk about in this arc when Dooku took down like Goseki, right? That really shows you like, you know, the king's been like checkmate, like, you know, checkmate and it's game over. Like,
Wait, did you guys talk about how you felt about Dukio the first time you met him? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you feel?
yeah, how'd you feel about it?
I didn't
Yeah, I thought he was
like him.
senile.
I didn't like him. I thought he was out of his mind.
Yeah,
Same.
that's what I thought too.
I
Yeah.
was just like, yo, what is this old dude doing?
It's those characters that you come to love at the same time because like when they were talking about like how he's a wild beast and stuff and like his whole crew, like you don't want to mess with those guys. Like
Yeah.
those are the kind of people you want to like see more of.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, it literally looked to me at the very beginning like he was just super crazy. He's like, well, like, you know,
Yeah.
if we keep attacking him, they're eventually gonna all die. Like kind of
Yep.
moment.
He reminded me of like one of those old guys that's like lived past their era and they still have this old way of thinking, like, you know, like just keep attacking no matter what. No matter how many men you lose, you're gonna keep attacking.
Is it wrong that he reminds me of Goldie Roger? Like,
I can see that.
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, you know, if someone bad names him or like, you know, is up against like going up against them, right? He's not gonna back down. Like he's just gonna go for the kill.
Yeah, like that mask though was pretty crazy. Like I love it.
Yeah,
Like that's just kind of like his war mask, like his beast mask.
yeah.
But yeah, like for people that aren't caught up yet, like you see it more in a couple of arcs, but like the different generals, and not even just the different generals, but like who like are under them is kind of cool. Like it's not just like the generals themselves; you get introduced to like their vice generals and like their captains and et cetera, et cetera. And I love
Yeah.
to see the different
And
people.
Shin in the next war arc plays
Yeah.
a huge role.
Yeah, don't say anything about it.
You know,
Just
just off of a thing with Shin, because whenever I first started it off, he wasn't one of my favorites. But I will say this: Shin is one of those characters that every single time I go back to read Kingdom, I like him more, like more and more every single time. I feel like every single arc, I like him more than the last, and I think that's excellent on the author's part.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the more I read about Shin, the more he reminds me of Luffy and different things he does.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like him as much as I do. But he's more, I guess he's more focused than Luffy, which is crazy. But he's not. He doesn't play around as much as Luffy. So I enjoyed that about Shin.
Yeah, he starts from being like
Hard-boiled.
a low like peasant boy who only sparred with Hio to like actually having
Yeah.
experience and knowing what to do as a leader. I love
Right.
And after this,
It's
I
seen
like
his
the
growth.
visual changes as well. I like the way that I can look back at the manga and then like the early chapters and then see like the actual visual differences. Like they grow. Like it actually looks like these people grow.
Yeah, they show how their growth
Professor Anime,
like,
you
over
said-
the chapters.
yeah, I was saying that like after this arc, he became like a 100-man commander, didn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shot
Yeah.
up 2 ranks, I believe.
Yeah.
The nobility like ceremonies are so cool to see too. I feel like we're
Mhm.
leveling up in a sense.
Because I kind of
That's
like
how
the
I
bounties
see
and stuff. Like,
That's always cool to see. Yeah.
What would you guys rate the war arc, the versus way?
I would
what would I
say
rank it like in terms of like all the arcs and stuff? Or, like,
Tip
or, I
of
mean,
the
that's
iceberg.
the first 2.
From
Like,
what we've seen so far, where would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 10? That only knowing that you've seen the
those 2 arcs.
Seiyo, I think it's Seiyo campaign
Yeah,
or something
the
like
rebellion
that.
arc, basically.
Yeah.
No, you said
I
5.
can't say
Oh,
because
okay.
like I'll be spoiling shit, but like yeah, I'll stay out of this one.
From what we saw,
five.
I'd say it was like a 7 or 8 for me, just because like
Yeah.
I liked it way better
Yeah,
than like the
probably.
rebellion arc. Just because like
Yeah,
that's
which
why I was
arc?
going to Kingdom. The first arc,
the
the rebellion
Seikyu
arc, as I
rebellion,
call it.
Oh, the Seikyu arc?
Yeah, just because I like
Yeah,
seeing
probably
the
around the
mystery
same.
strategies.
Yeah, I'd say 8 because when General like Ouki and Tao come into play, that's when it starts getting really
Oh, you're
interesting. that
rating the
war.
arc? I thought you were rating it based on what's to come.
Oh no,
Oh, based on what's
No,
to come,
rating
it's
the
like a
arc.
Yeah, because
3.
if I do that, I would be
Yeah.
spoiling like crazy, like you know.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
yeah,
yeah,
that's why I was saying it was a 5 based on what's to come.
Yeah.
Like that 4.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
definitely.
that was the case, I'd make a 3 or 4 because like
Yeah.
the arcs there are just too much better.
let's
How about that wraps it up. So yeah, I appreciate everyone coming through. Of course, Yusuf, Professor Anime, King Recon, and of course Brago. For those of you who stuck around for at least what, an hour and a half we've been on,
Yeah.
appreciate the supports, and of course we're gonna try and come back here again next week with another arc by arc discussion. So hopefully we can try to get these guys to come back again. Once the video is set up afterwards, we'll have everyone's links down in the description below. So of course, subscribe to Professor Anime, subscribe to Yusuf, subscribe to King Recon, and of course subscribe to Brago. Appreciate you guys coming through. And any final thoughts you want to say about these first 2 arcs and what's to come just off them?
Well, this is nothing to do with the 2 arcs, but thanks for the.
This is nothing compared to the other arcs.
Yeah.
yeah, they're still really good though. It's just the other arcs is fucking so much better. That's why
Yeah,
it sounds
yeah.
like yeah.
We still live.
Yeah, we're still alive.
Yeah, we're still alive.
Hey,
Yeah, man, we ain't did the
we haven't
outro yet.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't done the outro.
I gotta say this before we do the outro.
Vision.
Thanks, Brago, for accepting the 3rd seat. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys want to do that.
Braga took an L and then left.
Yeah.
Took his L with him.
I thought we put that behind us, man.
Yeah, now it's behind
I
us.
thought we
don't
did.
it?
But yeah, I appreciate guys coming through because like at first I'm sure you guys thought like I was just a crazy person trying to get you guys to join this random stream. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk about Kingdom with the group because like man, I think we're all like on the same level of hype for what's to come.
This was my first Kingdom discussion, and it was
Same.
I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
My first Kingdom
Definitely try
discussion
to
as
get you guys to
well.
come back as well again, because you gotta keep on talking about the greatness of Kingdom. It's just gonna keep on getting better and better from here, you know.
Yeah.
If I turn up
Next-
to this stream, do you think I'm gonna miss the next one? You know what's gonna happen? Okay.
Hey, you know what? This is gonna be the place to be, I guess. You know, for the group
Yeah.
discussions, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It has to
next
be.
week is going to be so sick to talk about the next
Yeah,
2
there's gonna be a
arcs.
lot
I'm
to
be
talk
so
about.
happy to talk about those arcs. Oh my god.
Alright, so Nikki, you ready for your outro?
Stebo, take it away.
Out of heaven.
Disperse. Dun, dun, dun.